Excellent!
The fine folks over at Mayflower Electronics were kind enough to send me over their Fostex T50RP headphones, as well as the Black Objective 2 amplifier unit. Now there's a couple stories I could tell you here. For instance, I could tell you how Mayflower Electronics was started by a man named Tyler in the USA with the goal of bringing affordable audio gear to the audiophile community. Product offerings are mostly headphones like the T50RPs here. They're modified by Mayflower to greatly enhance the sound quality, as well as amplifiers, DACs, and other mod kits. The second story here is that Mayflower does not actually manufacture these products, but they do heavily modify them like the T50RPs, or they assemble them as is the case with the O2 amp. They also make DACs, or digital analog converters, that I've heard make an excellent substitution for a high-end sound card, but today we're just talking about the headphones and the amps. Now I want this little review to be based on my personal experience with this stuff, so I'm going to come back to the specs of each of these products. First I'm going to talk a little bit about my history as an audiophile. Okay, honestly, I have no history as an audiophile. I definitely appreciate good sound, but I haven't invested heavily in audio hardware or even dedicated headphones like these. Actually, most of my experience is with gaming headsets, which can be pretty mediocre when it comes to actual sound reproduction. To be fair, my daily drivers are the Sennheiser PC360s, which are actually quite respectable as headsets go, but even those couldn't hold a candle to the precision and clarity of these modified T50RPs with the O2 amp. My question was, will these headphones be noticeably different for an entry-level sound enthusiast with limited basis for comparison? The answer was undeniably yes. So I tested with a variety of tracks. Being a non-audiophile, I unfortunately do not have a lot of pristine, lossless FLAC files around, so I had to rely on the highest quality music that was available from my personal MP3 collection, which is actually pretty extensive. So I started with NoFX's The Decline, which I have in 192 kilobit quality. Okay, punk music probably isn't the best for this type of review, even if it's probably the best punk song ever recorded and it made me feel like I was 17 again. It did sound great, but I wanted to move on to something a little bit more distinct and higher quality. Logan said these are great for metal, so I tried a couple classic Megadeth tracks at 256 kilobits per second. Okay, those were remastered near lossless VBR encodings, and this was where the definition and crispness that this combination is able to achieve really started to come through. Anytime you listen to a track that you've heard 100 times before and you can actually pick up new sounds that you've never heard were there, I think it's a good thing. Next up, for a change of pace, we have Marvin Gaye's Mercy Mercy Me, also at 256 kb. Okay, that one was a little bit random. Again, probably not ideal for this type of testing, but I did appreciate how the vintage feel of the recording was enhanced by the clarity of the sound reproduction. Finally, I found a beautifully pristine 320 kilobit rip of Agnus Dei Adagio for Strings by the choir of Trinity College at Cambridge. Wow, this one actually floored me. I could hear almost every choir member's voice distinctly in the recording. It was really akin to actually being in a large choir chamber listening to this amazing rendition, and it affected me deeply, as you can probably tell. I continued to listen to other tracks that I had filed away, but that's a good enough sample for now. Let me actually rattle off some hardware specs for you guys about these two products before I close this one out. So the T50RP Studio headphones, out of the box and unmodified, sport a 15Hz to 35,000 Hz frequency response, 50 ohm impedance, and really sturdy build quality. You can see how flexible the strap is, and the beefy metal slides to adjust the ear cups. I really like those. Mayflower mods these with an emphasis on improving the audio quality by adding mass to the baffles with new plast clay imported from the UK, integrating acoustic foam from Silverstone and high quality rolled cotton into the bottom of the ear cups, and then replacing the ear pads with Shure pleather for better comfort and bass response. The V1s do not come with a headband pad, and that would be a definite add-on for me, as my one complaint with the out-of-the-box experience was that the headband can get a bit uncomfortable, particularly after extended use. The T50s have a semi-open design, and I thought that was a great balance between a more open soundstage as well as external noise reduction that you get from a closed design. The included audio cable has a locking 1/8 inch jack on the headphone side and a 1/4 inch jack to connect to your source. Tyler also threw in one of their custom braided 1/8 inch cables, which was very well made and has gold contacts, so that's another nice add-on upgrade if you guys are looking for a better solution for connecting the amplifier to your sound source. Speaking of the O2 amplifier, this is a newer design. It's got the power on the back, but all the other I/O is on the front. It's got a large volume knob and buttons for power and gain. You can actually make this unit portable by grabbing a couple rechargeable 9-volt batteries from the Mayflower store as well. An amp like this one is a necessity if you're using higher impedance headphones, as they require more power to reproduce sound accurately. The O2 can make a huge difference in audio quality, particularly if you're listening from a source like a cell phone that typically doesn't have enough drive for high-end headphones. And even with the volume on this cranked to the max, there's no background electrical noise or hiss from the signal amplification. If you're like me at all, you love music, but it can often be relegated to just background noise in day-to-day life. I really enjoyed doing this review simply because it got me to sit down and just listen to music, which was something that I actually hadn't done in quite a while. I think these could sound even better if I was to source the music from a DAC or a high-end sound card, but even if you're using a laptop or a cell phone, these are going to give you a huge step up in audio quality. If you're a budding audiophile, check out the link in this video's description to peruse the Mayflower Electronics site. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on this video because it brings joy and happiness to all the world. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be back soon with more tech videos.